Hi, this is Derek Ham, and you are watching and listening to Hunting Matters. It's a Houston Safari Club Foundation production. I'm the sub this week. Joe Bitar, Executive Director of Houston Safari Club Foundation, is normally your host, as you know, because I'm sure you all listen to it week by week. I'm happy to do it. Glad he asked me. I know it's going to be fun because I've got my compadre over here, Mr. Anthony Vaughan. Anthony, welcome to the show.
Well, thanks for having me. I appreciate it, and it's good to be here today.
Yes, sir. We've known each other, I don't know, good 6, 8 years now, I think.
I would say so.
So we met through work. So I sell ranch property, and Anthony works for Capital Farm Credit. So we cross paths all the time, and I've been fortunate enough to know you, and happy to have been able to do some projects and some business with you. But let's talk about where you came from a little bit. So you came from East Texas,
Sure.
born East Texas.
I grew up in the Beaumont area,
Mm-hmm.
east of Houston. Went to school just west of Beaumont, a little town, Hamshire-Fannett. Attended college at Lamar,
Mm-hmm.
and growing up in that part of the world, it was all about refinery life, a lot of duck hunting with rice farming in that area, a little bit of, other things that you do as a kid growing up, the baseball, the football, and all that type of stuff.
And rodeo.
Rodeo.
You did some rodeo too, didn't you?
I did. So
Yeah.
as I guess in middle school, I was introduced to rodeo, and I rodeoed through high school as a rough stock rider, and did a little bit of it in college, and realized that that's a pretty rough way to make a living, and
Oh yeah.
better finish get my degree and find something else to do. But I have no regrets. It was a great deal, and those guys that do it for a living, man, hats off to them.
Yeah. More power to them. So we were kind of talking a minute ago off air about the differences in Texas, because you look at Texas and it's just a little different in different part. East Texas versus West Texas, South Texas. So growing up in East Texas, do you feel like that made you more of a duck hunter, or you like deer too, or
You know,
how did it?
in all honesty, I'm a wing shooter.
Yeah.
I prefer my shotgun before a rifle any day of the week.
Mm-hmm.
Beaumont being more coastal, a lot of farmland, more flat, coastal marsh, a lot of duck hunting.
Mm-hmm.
But you go a little further north, maybe an hour north, and you can get into the piney woods of East Texas, and we did some deer hunting growing up there, as well as the hill country. But you know, my dad would ask me when I was a kid growing up, "Hey, you want to go shoot ducks this weekend, or you want to go try to shoot a deer?" And he didn't have to ask that too many more times, and knew what my decision was to stay home and shoot ducks.
Yeah.
It's just the excitement of bird hunting versus sitting in a blind or walking the woods,
I was gonna say.
especially as a a young lad,
Mm-hmm.
when you a little more energy in your body.
So I was born in Lubbock, and then kind of raised in Houston, but didn't get east a whole lot until I started selling property, and then I got some properties over there near Kuntz and Evadale and some different areas, and people would say it's different. It's different over here. It is. It's a little bit of a different culture, and I feel like what you said as far as ducks and things like that. It's more that than it is deer.
Sure, I feel like there's a lot of Louisiana influence on that side of Texas, being right there on the Sabine River. But it's a pretty it's a unique area that you can do a lot of things. You can catch redfish in the morning type thing if fishing's your thing there on the coast, and hour and a half later you can be in Toledo Bend or Sam Rayburn,
Mm-hmm.
bass fishing if you want to.
The Houston Safari Club Foundation's Worldwide Hunting Expo and Convention is back. January 23rd to the 25th at the Woodlands Waterway Marriott. Explore worldwide hunting and fishing outfitters, gear, auctions, raffles, and banquets. $20 at the door, kids under 15, military and first responders free with ID. Learn more at WeHuntWeGive.org. Sponsored by Boyd's Gun Stocks, Capital Farm Credit, Copandero, DEA Ranch, Dex Imaging, Genus Logistics, Gunworks Revic, and Wildlife Partners.
So that's probably, I'm guessing that's what led you into your Leatherworks bird strap
Oh yeah,
business,
yeah.
right?
Little hobby.
Little hobby. Well, from what I remember, I don't know if it was you told me or somebody else said that you were doing that, and you still do that, and then it was more, you were by yourself all day long, working on leather and selling it, right? And then you thought to yourself, well, I need something that is more around people. And that led you to, I'll let you fill in the blanks, that led you to working at Capital Farm.
I did leather work full time for many years, and it was kind of one of those deals. You sit in a shop, and that's true. Satellite radio plays the same songs over and over. I promise, just like the local radio station does. Podcast listening and Netflix playing in the background and all that type of stuff. And I've always been a people person, and just going to events kind of like the Houston Safari Club Convention and other events like that, definitely were a highlight of that job. But it wasn't every day of that job, getting to talk to people, and people would stop by and talk and things like that, and that was always great. But it's Capital Farm Credit. The biggest draw to that is it's like-minded people mostly, people that in the agriculture community or in the hunting, outdoor realm, and it's a good fit. It's a lot. It's been a lot of fun. I've been at Capital Farm Credit for getting close to 6 years now, and I've enjoyed every minute of it.
I don't know what they do, what Capital Farm does, at least in this part of the world, but every one of you guys. So I think I met Kent Savage first, and then probably David. And then I met you, and everybody's cut of the same cloth, right? So it's easy to do business with you guys because, like you said, like-minded people. And I've never had an issue with referring somebody and saying, hey, let Kent take care of you, or hey, let Anthony take care of you. It's always been super easy. But what is it about Capital Farm, other than the people, which to me is the most important thing, but what is it about Capital Farm that separates you from some of these other lenders for Farm and Ranch?
Well, mostly as far as lenders concerned, we're pretty unique in our little niche that we have. Is we only lend to on rural property, whether it being used for an actual agricultural operation or for some type of recreational use, or hunting, or just something to ride your four-wheeler on, if that's what you so choose to and desire to do. We don't lend on anything commercial related. As far as a manufacturing facility for the oil and gas, that's not us. So it's unique that we every day we're talking to people in that agricultural world, or somebody that wants their own hunting property.
Right.
That's what makes us the most unique compared to all these other lenders. Is not saying that other lenders don't do that, but equipment, financing combines,
Right.
things like that. That's what we do.
Well, and that's to me another one of the advantages. The patronage program.
Sure.
Is something that's very unique, I feel. I don't think anybody else does that. And then the idea that you can finance improvements along with the property,
Absolutely.
right? Which I kind of wish I would have done with ours before we bought it, but
It's never too late, Derek.
I know. It's always refinancing. But explain to me, because I can kind of explain it. I know enough to be dangerous about the patronage program. I know I get a check
Sure.
at the end of the year, but how does that work?
So Capital Farm Credit is a cooperative model, just like a lot of other cooperatives in the agricultural world. and we work all year long just as a normal business. And at the end of the year, our board of directors takes our profits and votes on what we need to pay the bills, and the rest of it goes back to our borrowers, and that's who technically we're working for.
Right.
Is for those borrowers. And so, like you said, in March of every year, we send out our cash patronage check, which is, a dividend payment for you being a shareholder as a borrower of Capital Farm Credit.
And the way I look at it, and the way some people look at it too, is that when you figure that in, whatever the percentage rate was, but you figure that in, and your percentage rate actually it's less.
That's right. That's right.
When you look at it, because if you quote something, a number, so I'll just throw out a number.
Effectively, it makes your interest paid less.
Yes.
And there's multiple pieces to that, and we also have that cash patronage that pays out in March. We also have our allocated equities portion of that as well, and that's not an annual thing until you've held that loan for several years, and then those payments will come out later in the year, and so theoretically, at some point in time, Derek, on your land, you'll have 2 checks a year.
Right. That's what I was going to say. I know that happens after so many years,
Right.
But I don't think a lot of people know that or understand that.
Sure.
Necessarily. Sure. 'Cause like I said, I start on the. I mean, I'm in the who business as well, and it's my reputation is everything, right? Your reputation is everything. So that's what I start with, and then I go into my resources of what we can do for people. So it's pretty easy to say you guys have kind of cornered the market. I mean, again, not saying there's not some guys out there that don't also do a good job, but
yeah,
I've just been lucky enough to meet y'all and know y'all and get to know you and continue to do things together. So, and speaking of that, as far as Houston Safari Club is concerned, so I'm on the board of directors and I'm convention chair this year, and I think you guys have been a corporate partner. God, I want to say it's not been 30 years, maybe
longer. I would imagine it's been every bit of that length of time.
I mean, I should know the exact number, but I know it's been a long time, and I feel like you guys are one of the really big reasons why we can do what we can do. Having that stability, but it's not like a check. I mean, it is a check, but it's also it's a trust in us and what we're going to do and what
Sure.
we will do in trying to promote the hunting heritage, to try and preserve our hunting rights, conservation, youth programs, scholarships, all those things. So it's just it's been a long relationship, and I know it's going to continue.
You bet.
Capital Farm Credit understands that there's something about the outdoors that pulls you in. Could be the fresh air, the colors, the smells, the animals, the freedom. It's all just a part of who you are. And with our recreational land loans, you can purchase land for whatever outdoor pursuit you please. That way, the outdoors won't just be in your soul, it'll also be in your name. To learn more, visit capitalfarmcredit.com. Together, we're better.
As well. So, so on the hunting side of things, how's the hunting been this year? Have you gone? Have you been out?
Man, I've been out a few times. It's I guess the Texas weather has had its effect on some of our hunting this year. It's been slow, but never yet though. It's been still good. Anytime you get out in that world, it's good. Good friends, good people, good food, maybe a good drink, and
Or two.
Yeah, or two. And it has been a tough year and it's been challenging, but if it was easy every year, it'd kind of get boring, right? And so
That's right.
this is Just like a good hunt wants you to come back wants to make you come back again, a bad one does the same, right?
I was gonna say the bad ones you're gonna remember, but
Yeah.
for sure. But it's still about the experience.
That's right.
And I think you're probably at the same. Well, maybe not. I know I'm older than you are, but I'm to the point now where if I see somebody, hunting for the first time, whether it's a kid or whether it's even a young adult.
Yeah.
I've recently brought some friends out that had never hunted before, but to see them experience that and what you get from that, because where we spend most of our time during the day is man created.
Mm-hmm.
Get out in the outdoors, and that's what God created.
That's right.
That's a whole nother thing and for people to. There's nothing more satisfying for me than to be able to get people hooked on that and enjoy it and understand it. Get the kids off the iPads, all those things.
That's absolutely right, and that's kind of probably one of the highlights of my life is my wife didn't come from any kind of a hunting background, didn't have much knowledge of any of that, nothing firearm related or anything, and I don't know. I'd say about 10 years into our marriage, one day, and she comes to me and she goes, "Hey, what if I told you I wanted to go dove hunting with you?" I said, "Let's go." And she's like, "Well, what do we do?" So, long story short, made a couple phone calls to some friends in the shotgun world and said, "Hey, can you give my wife a lesson in shooting the shotgun instead of me doing that?" Best $300 I ever spent in my life,
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, got her started doing that, and she's enjoyed it. And going back to getting the youth into this thing, I spend as much of my spare time as I can helping kids. I enjoy shooting clay targets year round, and fortunate my daughter loves it as well. She's a freshman in high school, and my son, he's off and on. He'll go bird hunting with you, but he'd rather go fishing than shoot clay targets. So I don't knock him for that. I get it, and but it's that's something we do every year now. The week between Christmas and New Year's is we head to South Texas to find us some kind of a bird hunt.
Nice.
And it's you ask the kids, "Hey, you want to go somewhere else?" No, we're going to go to South Texas. So
No, that's great. That's great. My daughter's, she's been around it her whole life. When I was involved with a different charity and we took kids with pediatric cancer on hunting trips, and I take her as a little ambassador.
mm-hmm.
And it's amazing to see, kids of a young age experience it for the first time. And so she's still, when we're going to the ranch, she's ready to go.
Yeah.
She's absolutely ready to go. So it's a bonding thing, and until you've experienced, it's all just words, right?
That's right.
Wife and I went on it might as well have been a dude ranch. It was a place in Colorado, beautiful ranch, but they had everything from, you could fly fish, really wasn't hunting season, but it was during the summer, so we really just fly fish. But there's some people from California there, and they found out we were from Texas, and so naturally. One woman says, "Do you hunt? Because everybody in Texas hunts." And I said, "Well, not everybody. If you're in Austin, you probably don't." But anyway, and I said, "Yes, ma'am. I do." And she said, "Well, I'm kind of against it." And I said, "Well, the fact that you said you're kind of against it means we can have a conversation." I said, "So let's talk about it." So we talked. We did. We talked about it. She had her wine. I had my whiskey. And I explained to her my reasons, and explained to her taking the middleman out. It's my responsibility. I'm taking the life of that animal, and so put it in a different light. And she's like, "Well," she said, she wasn't ever going to hunt, but she also looked at it through a different way.
Sure.
And that's probably one of the only times I've had a conversation with somebody she was anti. Now, you got plenty of people that are ambivalent about it. They don't know. And if you can talk to them, then you might be able to convince them to do something. I mean, we have people in the Houston Safari Club Foundation monthly meetings. We'll have people that have never shot a gun, show up and just want to know what it's all about. They'll hear from somebody, and then we'll do our best to set them up and do that. And what better place to to learn than through Houston Safari Club Foundation because we've got all the resources, right? Rather than just trying to go and do it on your own.
Sure.
So, yeah, we welcome anybody in all walks of life.
No, I mean, and there's a, you might as well learn how to be able to have some kind of connection there to do it the right way, the safe way.
Right.
That's the key to that. And,
Yes.
as any of these people when they're getting into this is, it's safety's number one. And if you don't have those resources or that part, it's a lot of people don't know, and that's how accidents happen.
Well, we've retooled our youth program at Houston Safari Club, and one thing that every person that volunteers to go on one of the youth hunts got to know CPR. That's one thing for sure. We need to know how far away we are from a hospital. So, and then of course, the safety on the range. We got to make sure that person knows how to use the weapon.
Sure.
So that's absolutely number one. And but I'm real happy with the strides we're making. We hired somebody specifically to take on that role, and Taylor's done a great job so far, in trying to get some schools involved and different groups. Because that's really should be our primary focus, and it's becoming that. So, but I think convention this year it's going to be fun. I'm happy to be the convention chair. Ask me on the last day. We'll see what my answer is, but
or right before the doors open the first day. That's
right.
what I'm gonna ask you.
Right. No, we're sold out again. We got a waiting list. We're ready to go.
Hunting Matters is presented by Copandero Indoor Archery Pistol and Rifle Range, your premier indoor archery pistol and rifle shooting destination. Located in Oak Ridge North, right next to the Woodlands, Copandero offers 2 25-yard pistol ranges, a 100-yard rifle range, and a 25-yard archery range. Whether you're honing your skills or just starting, Copandero has everything you need, including rentals, classes, a retail store, an in-house cafe, and a VIP lounge. Join Copandero today for an unmatched shooting experience. To learn more, go to copandero.com.
Few little changes here and there, but the idea is to keep things going and keep things fun, and just have a good time and make sure our exhibitors are happy, because we're partners with them just like we're partners with our sponsors, and you guys are exhibitors too.
Sure.
And we want to know what we can do to make things better for you guys, because y'all make it run.
Well, I will attest that the Houston Safari Club convention is a lot of fun. I'm fortunate to work there with Capital Farm Credit throughout the event, at our booth and throughout the convention center, and lots of great people walking the aisles there. Lots of great vendors from all over the world, even and not just all over the world. A lot of North American stuff there, so you don't have to fly across the pond if that's not what you want to do yet. There's plenty of stuff to do there for everybody. It's all great people. Goes back to that like-minded thing, Great conversations, whether you're standing in line to get a drink, or standing in line at dinner or whatever it may be. It's lots of one-off and good conversations that you never know whose hand you're going to shake, or
That's right.
or
And as far as dinner and food is concerned, so if there's any food you don't like this year, you can blame me, because they sent me up there to do food tasting, and they had it was me and a couple other people but I was part of it. So, and they all said they're going to blame me if everybody complained. So, but I thought that was fun to be able to do that, pick out the food, and as far as Capital Farm, bird strap, hunting, family. I mean, you sound like you're pretty dang busy all the time. How do you manage your time to be able to do all the things that you want to do? And is there something else out there that you're thinking that you might want to get into? I mean, I know we talked about this truck that you and your son are working on. That's that's a side project. But is there anything else out there that you're just, looking at? Man, I really want to be able to do that someday.
Retire.
Well, retire, yeah, yeah.
No, my days start pretty early, about 4:30 usually, and they end pretty early too, most of the time. But no, it's you definitely have to, I forget what the term they use for it, but there's certain times of the day I have allocated for certain things, if that makes sense, and as of right now, life's great. It's cup's full.
Cherish it.
Yeah. Spend time with family. Spend time at work. Spend time with great people. The truck thing, though.
Yeah, tell me about that.
So my little boy growing up, he never was much on watching cartoons, and you could walk in there on Saturday mornings, and he was watching Barrett Jackson and Meekum and all this kind of stuff, and I'm like, I grew up in that kind of background, before all this. My dad was in the automotive industry and oil and gas industry, but we always had cars at my house growing up as a kid. And, he's always, hey, Dad, watch this car come by here. Watch this car run across the auction. And we'd sit there and watch them. Dad, do you know about this? We just had lots of good conversations. And, I mean, this is an 8-year-old kid, 7-8-year-old kid we're talking about, And one day we were walking through a parking lot, and he says, hey, Dad, look over there. That's a 69 Chevelle. And over there's a Mustang, Dad. You think it's 66 or 67? And we had a conversation about these two cars, and my wife looks at me and she says, does he really know what he's talking about? I said, 100%. He nailed it. And she goes, okay. So we go a little bit, time went on a little bit, and she comes in there one day and she goes, I think you need to buy him a truck. I'm like, really? She goes, yeah. She goes, he goes in those photo albums that you have as a kid sitting there in the cabinet and thumbs through all these trucks that you and your dad built together. I think you need to do that. So sure enough, we have a truck in my shop right now, an 86 Chevrolet C10, square body, whatever you want to call it.
I was gonna
Short bed. And it is completely apart. And the only thing sitting there is right this moment is a frame and a cab. And the cab has got patch panels cut out of it right now, and fixing all the rust. And hopefully by the end of winter, we're starting to see some things start going back the other direction. It's kind of like building a house. You see the sticks go up fast, and the next thing slows down. And being he's 11 now, and being that he's seen the truck be torn, it's torn apart really fast, and now it gets to the part where it's pretty slow welding panels in. It's pretty slow doing this. So I'm hoping here soon we can get it back to where it's the excitement's coming. He sees the rewards of his labor and work, and he's out there 11 years old with a MIG welder in his hand, spot welding panels in, and it took me a little bit to get a cutoff wheel in his hand, though. He wasn't sure of the sparks flying on the face shield and all that kind of stuff at first.
Well, I can imagine. Yeah, 11 years old. My God. By the time you get it all together and everything, though, but that's going to be. I mean, talk about a passion project and just something to be proud of. Oh my gosh!
You bet.
Once you get that thing together, that's really neat. I like that story. I'm gonna want to keep up with that one for sure.
No.
Was it 86? Was that the last year they made that?
I think
type of.
I think it was 86. Maybe on the Suburban, I can't remember, but I think the Suburban went a little longer than the trucks did. Don't quote me to that. You could ask him, and he would tell you real quick exactly, and what headlights it had in the grill. And I don't keep up it like I used to.
That's amazing. Though.
Are you looking for an investment that goes beyond the ordinary? Wildlife Partners is the nation's leader in breeding and consulting for the exotic wildlife industry. When you invest in wildlife, you're not just acquiring a 100% tax-deductible asset, you're playing a vital role in the conservation of endangered species. Do you own land? You can turn your ranch into a profitable wildlife-driven business. And even if you don't own land, that's no problem. Wildlife Partners offers unique opportunities for non-landowners to invest in conservation while enjoying significant tax benefits and potential cash flow.
That's amazing. So when I lived in Los Angeles another lifetime ago, and nobody drives trucks really out there, not much. And I had bought and drove out there a 1990 454 SS
Oh yeah.
truck, which is it's like a race truck, of course.
OBS they call them.
Painted it flat. That's right. Painted it flat. Yeah, past everything but a gas station.
That's right.
But that was fun to have that and be able to work on it. You can still work on a truck. Damn.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Now I pop the hood on my truck. I don't know what I'm looking at.
That's right.
About half the time. So, but those kinds of things that you can share with your kids is so important.
Oh, you bet.
That's so important.
You bet. And that's I think that's what what drives me to Capital Farm Credit so much is all the people are buying land to be able to share experiences and make memories with their friends and families.
Mm-hmm.
And you can do that on, just a couple acres.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't take, hundreds or thousands of acres to make these memories, and
But you could, and I'll help them with it.
they could. Absolutely. Absolutely. But, it's, I think a lot of people get a misconception with that, but, it doesn't, you don't have to go far. I'll be honest with you. I still live off of I-10. Just east side of Houston, and an hour and a half, 2 hours, and I feel like I'm in a whole different world. And and it's I don't have to go 6, 10, 12 hours, get on an airplane or anything like that. It's.
So would that be? That sounds like that would be your advice to someone who is looking to buy rural property for the first time is maybe you don't have to look so big. You're going to be waiting,
Sure.
depending on your financial situation, of course. But because I have people all the time that I have people looking for bigger properties, and then they'll come to me. I have some people, like there's this younger couple, and they were looking for 10 acres, and can't help them. And they said, "Oh, you deal with big stuff." I'm like, "No, I'm happy to help you."
That's right.
And I want these people, and they've already been pre-approved through Capital, so we're ready to go. But the fact that young family just had the first child, but they want to buy 10 acres near Kennard. I know you know where that is.
Yeah.
And National Forest is right there. But that's their thought is that to get that 10 acres and then maybe they'll buy something bigger someday or whatever. But they want their child to be able to grow up, be able to go out to that, enjoy that. And
Yeah.
man, somebody, I don't care how many acres you want. You want 5 acres. I'm gonna kill myself to help you get it.
And one of those key things is one of the most satisfying parts of this job is that you do help somebody buy a 10, 20 acre tract of land, and they've enjoyed it for 3 or 4 years, and either they are buying the neighbor next door that's selling the property to make that area grow, or they're like, you know what, we're enjoying this much, but we think we'll like this area better, and they sell that piece of property, and then they're on to buying 120 acres, in another area, and so it's always one of those good things. I grew up, spent a lot of time in some Corps of Engineer parks, state parks around those lakes areas in East Texas with my grandparents, and it was great. It was really great. But kind of trying to take that next step further, and maybe there is maybe somebody does want a property close to the lakes where they can create those memories, and then that's passed down, and it builds that legacy. Where,
Right.
you know, the next generation enjoys it just like the generations before.
Right. Well, it took me a while to get to where I am now, and that's selling ranch property. But my father was raised on a ranch outside Amarillo, Texas, called the LX Cattle Ranch, which I think is still 80,000 acres.
Okay, wow.
Big place, right? And so I think it's kind of come full circle with my life and what I was doing. I mean, he's passed, but if he were alive today, he'd be thrilled to death.
Mm-hmm.
He'd be going out and looking at these properties with me, and you know, just his knowledge of horses, and he was a bronc rider, and so and of property in general. But so it was in my blood. It just took me a while to get there, you know. But I'm happy I'm here now, and like you said, like-minded people,
Yeah.
you know. But Hunting Matters is presented by DEA Ranch. Are you looking for the ultimate South Texas hunting experience? Then look no further than DEA Ranch. DEA Ranch offers some of the best whitetail and exotic game hunts in South Texas year-round. Whether you're looking to fill your freezer or put that next hunting memory on the wall, their professional guides are focused on ensuring each client has a memorable and exciting hunting experience. DEA Ranch offers guided hunts, professional staff, chef-prepared meals, trophy preparation, and more. To learn more, go to dearanch.com. That's dearanch.com. Well, let's talk about, so you mentioned automotive. So you worked in oil and gas some as well?
I did.
Yeah? Short period of time?
Short period of time. Yeah, mostly in the area of the wellhead. You know, I did some well hookup stuff, and I actually worked for a service company in college, doing some flowback and stuff on wells in East Texas.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
A little bit. And your wife is she's still oil and gas.
my wife works in oil and gas as well.
God bless her. Well,
It's pretty hard to be in Texas, and especially the Houston area, and not be
oh, you got to be.
have some tie to it, right?
I know.
That's and that's a lot of people we deal with. In what we do day to day is, with oil and gas people.
Now, the environment right now for buying property and selling property, I can only use one word. It's just weird right now, the way things are.
I hear that word a lot lately.
Yeah, that's the only word that can come to mind, because I've got buyers and sellers that are asking why.
Sure.
Either why I can't find something, or why isn't it selling necessarily. But there are people looking. There's a lot of people looking, and I think, I don't know, what's your opinion of the state of buying and selling land right now, based on seeing the interest rate go down a little bit and then a little bit more, and
We definitely had a little lull this year with us, but for the most part, this last quarter, it's definitely picking back up. Definitely, there are buyers out there for sure. Lots of people pre-approved to go buy property right now. I don't know people are looking for the right spot, the right thing, and sometimes that's the hardest part, is finding the right thing.
right. I've got a couple of clients. I'll say a couple because I don't want to say one, because it's actually one, that been looking for property for probably 2 years now.
Sure.
But it's got to be right. And I'm patient, because it does. That's the last thing you want to do is buy some property that you're going to regret.
That's right.
You're not buying a car, that you can go and sell in a year or two. I mean, it's a big deal. But I do have clients that are looking for that exact property.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, a lot of it's easy to weed out, but sometimes it's just you get to the point where you're down to just a few little things that you still want. But I really, I understand it, and like the way we bought our property was completely different.
Right.
It was, there it is. That's what we want. Let's go get it. And we didn't even look at it another property, not another one.
It fit, And
Right.
I think a lot of people in today that are looking for real estate, it may be hard to find that. There's a lot of inventory out there, and sometimes that can be make a buyer. I guess you can verify this. Does that if there's a lot of inventory out there? How does a buyer react to that environment? And it's I don't think it's some kind of weird thing, because there's definitely still hot areas in Texas.
Sure.
Where if you put it on the market, it's just like it was 3 or 4 years ago. It's gone away, But there's other areas that, it's cooled off a little bit.
Nobody wants to imagine an emergency on a hunting trip, but when the unexpected happens, you want the team of medical and security experts at Global Rescue to be there for you. Global Rescue Operations Centers are staffed by experienced personnel, and you'll always speak to an expert on the first call. Global Rescue provides unparalleled capabilities to transport members to the hospital of their choice, not just the closest. So trade what-ifs for peace of mind with convenient travel services designed for the unexpected. Learn more at globalrescue.com/huntingmatters.
Well, I still have, there's some people that still think, it's during the corona where, there was, COVID. I don't want to say corona, but it's ready for a beer, I guess. COVID that, I couldn't even do my job because I'd go price something and then say, okay, let's put $1 million on that. And then it'd sell.
Right.
Ridiculous. And so people, I feel like, or some people are still kind of in that, and they overprice. And then when you overprice something, at the beginning especially, you've got that 3-month period where it's really important at the beginning that you're priced right.
Sure.
Granted, you won't give it away, but at the same time, you've got to get your comps and you got to get everything in line and make sure that it's right and it's not so overinflated. Because what I see more with buyers now is if
they're taking the time to educate themselves.
Yes, and if they see something that's way overpriced, they won't. Before, they might have gone in and just given a number to try and negotiate down. But now it's like if they see that it's high, they don't even want to mess with it because they don't want the headache.
That's right.
They don't want to go in there if you're $200,000, $300,000 off, and your budget is only so much. Then they look at it as like, well, the percentage that we're off is too much, and I'm not going to split the difference with these people. So it's a little different now than what it used to be. I mean, I had buyers before that we would go and we would look and say, okay, that's probably high, but I would bet that they're going to come down to this, so let's put an offer. And they'd say, okay. Now, they don't want to mess with it.
That's right.
Which, I understand. But I just think, too, that with instability, government, things like that, it's just, it makes people a little nervous. But we get towards the end of the year. Where some of my biggest sales have happened is that week between Christmas and New Year's.
New Year's.
Believe it or not. Me personally.
No.
Everybody else says, no, I don't do anything.
That goes back to on that big long bio sheet you have there about me, that Joe written up. I was in the automotive world for a while, and it's kind of funny you say that, but everybody raves in the retail world, and theoretically that's what we're dealing with is a retail world of farm and ranch or housing industry. The automotive industry, if you pay attention to social media or the newspapers back in the day or TV commercials, the week between Christmas and New Year's is the hottest time to buy a new car, And there again, I wish I could give my kids a gift certificate for Christmas under the tree, because they'd get a lot more if they went shopping the week after Christmas instead of us chasing it for Black Friday or whatever.
That's right. Which they've already, that's already now, right? I mean, shoot.
In the heart of nature, Give your deer the nutrition they deserve with Record Rack deer feeds. The premium feeds support antler growth and overall herd health. Whether you're a wildlife enthusiast or a dedicated hunter, Record Rack deer feeds provide essential nutrients for a thriving herd. Choose Record Rack deer feeds for optimal deer nutrition. Visit recordrack.com to learn more.
That last week of the year, it's unique. I'm glad my kids want to go to South Texas and go shoot dove or something.
God, I know, it's amazing. That was one of the happiest days of my life. Is when I was watching some show about Alaska, and I've been to Alaska a couple times. That's my place, man. I love it. And my daughter looked at me and said, "Daddy, when are you going to take me to Alaska?"
There you go.
I said, "Oh my God." Of course, she was about 5 at the time. Now she's 16. We'll see. She knows what a bear is.
Right.
So she knows they're not soft and cuddly, but we're gonna make that trip one of these days. She's gonna go, and we'll have a good time. But that's
It's always a good feeling to know that when those kids see you going and doing that, and then they come back and say, "Hey, Dad, I want to go. When can I go?"
right.
Yeah,
you don't want to. That's the thing. You don't want to push it,
no.
and especially the hunting side of things.
That's right.
You kind of let that happen naturally, because if you push it, they're going to go the other direction, probably. I mean, I know that from when I was a kid. My dad would just, he wouldn't push me, but he might suggest, like, well, yeah, I want to go shoot a deer, but it had to be my idea,
That's right.
of course. So let's go back and talk about, so obviously, Houston Safari Club Foundation, we do a lot with conservation. We talk a lot, and we do a lot with habitat restoration, right? Does Capital Farm, are you able to, I don't want to say influence, but are you able to help people when they buy property and they say, look, hey, we've got, so many acres, and this is what we want to do? Or do they come to you just on the loan side of things? I say that, but I know they come to you about improvements.
Yeah, no, people. The initial conversation in most is, "I want to buy land." That's where it all starts. Obviously, everybody has an end goal that they're trying to achieve, and some of those might be that I want to have timber. I want to harvest this timber one day, or I don't. I want to keep this, these tall pines here as long as the good Lord let them be there, But, a lot of people come in and, we ask us, hey, what do I do? Where do I go to have this cleared, And I've got a sheet, depending on what area it is in, that I just kind of keep, and I say, look, here's your list of names for, you need a pond dug, you need land cleared, you would need an equipment shed built. You go talk to these people, and you figure which one you like's the best, and then, there again, we can help you with those improvements as well. But, a lot of, we see a lot nowadays as well, Derek, in way of conservation, is a lot of these landowners are finding ways and means to put some of this land into conservation under conservation easements. And so, basically what they're doing is they are saying that this land will never be put into development.
Right.
And, they can dictate what things can be done on the property, but it's going to stop development on that property. And some of these properties are not suitable for development, right? But, a lot, there's some that we're working with right now, and they're putting it in conservation. These conservation groups are funding or paying these landowners for this agreement. And I guess you could say it's technically somewhat devaluing the property. If you want to put it that way, but it's but they're getting value from that asset in cash, and that land is being deemed that you can still hunt it, you can still farm it, You can still put cows on it. They're all different. They're all unique to whatever, the property is or the needs are. But, we've got people that can help you start that conversation if somebody chooses to go that route with a piece of property. There's a lot of property on the market right now that is under these easements.
Mm-hmm.
And as long as those easements are recreation or ag related, we can still finance them.
Are you looking for a smarter way to manage your document imaging and print environment? Dex Imaging delivers industry-leading printers, copiers, and fully managed print services designed to cut costs, boost productivity, and simplify your workflow. Whether you're a small business or a Fortune 500 company, Dex provides personalized local service with the power of a national network so you get fast, reliable support wherever you are. Dex gives back, proudly supporting organizations like Houston Safari Club Foundation by giving through profit sharing. Dex Imaging, smarter technology, exceptional service, proven results. Visit deximaging.com or email Adam Montgomery at adam.montgomery@deximaging.com.
I'm glad we're talking about that, because that's an important issue that I think a lot of people don't understand, or they don't figure out or find out until later. But, done the right way. I mean, there's some people, real estate, they'd say, don't do it, because once it's there, it's there.
Sure.
And you can't build on it. But if you do it like our property, there's a lot of our property that you're not going to build on it,
right,
like you said. And so it just makes sense to have that under conservation easement, but you don't have to. That doesn't mean your whole property has to be.
That's right.
So to understand that, I think is important, and that people can use you guys as a resource for that is very important. A lot of people will ask me. They'll come to me and say, "Hey, how can we make money off our property?" And the first thing before they even buy it, if I have the buyer, before they even buy it, it's what exemption's in place or what's not in place. And I'll sometimes use a company that's all they do is help you understand the questions of the difference between ag, wildlife, the different exemptions.
Mm-hmm.
So that's number one. And then number two is like, okay, well, what else can we do? Well, if you have bees, that does this for you. If
Sure.
you can, if you low fence it, you can have these exotics because they don't jump a fence. But, so you don't have to have a high fence if you don't want. I think there's a lot of people that they don't understand that either. And so just giving people the opportunity to understand that once they buy that property, it doesn't stop there with what they want to do. They can build a home on it, sure, but you can also do a lot of the things to help you save money.
Sure. No. And it's speaking of saving money, in our current times, we've financed a lot of property in the last couple of years at a higher interest rate than what they are today. And currently we're working back through with some of those borrowers to reduce that interest rate, and we have a credit servicing mechanism that we utilize to reduce that rate and do a rate conversion on these properties, and not have to go back to title companies to not have to have new appraisals like you would traditionally in a refinance. We're doing these loan rate conversions in the matter of, I did one this morning before I came here.
It's like a one pager, isn't it?
It's one pager.
Mm-hmm. That's really,
electronically signed.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In most cases.
I was gonna say, I got plenty of clients that I want to do the DocuSign thing. It's not happening.
Right.
I had some people that God bless them, old Czechoslovakian family and own property near Needville, owned it forever, and it was like 6 brothers and sisters, and 5 of them. There was no computer. There was no, I went and saw them, but the great thing about it was I got to see those people, whenever there was something that needed to be signed. And when I would go see them, at their house, and I would get coffee and donuts and sit down and just shoot the breeze with them. And to me, man, that was golden, instead of doing DocuSign, boom, 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 boom,
right.
It's gone. that made the relationship with that family so much stronger for me to be able to get in front of them like that, because you know what, it's always important to be able to get in front of somebody rather than just email or just a phone call or even, a Teams or Zoom meeting or something like that. If you can get like we are right now, you get so much more out of it.
Oh, you bet.
But so I'd complain about it, but at the same time I'd laugh about it because it would take me the day, because I had somebody in Columbus and then I had somebody down here and I had somebody in, Richmond or wherever, and I would just start the day off and say, okay, got to get this signed if we're gonna, make this change, and I'd go see everybody and get all their hand signatures. So
Yeah, no, and and that some of those people that you make those connections with, there's a lot of people that I've never met face to face that we deal with just because we're so far apart. We at Capital we cover pretty much the whole state of Texas, and our office in our most eastern office, and I still deal with people that are in San Antonio or in South Texas, and that's where they reside. And they may close at a different title company that's 5 or 6 hours away from me, or they may do it mobile and have somebody come to their office to sign those title docs. So, if it's in reason and I can make it, I don't mind driving to meet these people. And a lot of these people we never meet, and there's been several of them. Our first time meeting after closing a year or two later has been at Houston Safari Club, and at the convention. But it's they come in for it. But that part of it brings it all full circle when you finally meet these people. They tell you about what has happened. I've got several borrowers that have had loans from early in my time at Capital Farm Credit, and they've since paid them off, and we still talk, half a dozen times a year probably.
Gunworks just launched a new rifle system. It's called Index. It's sized for adventure and engineered for extremes. With barrel lengths as short as 16 inches and a folding stock that collapses to an ultra-short profile, the Gunworks Index fits nicely in a UTV, a float plane, or across the seat of your truck without sacrificing accuracy. The Index features a built-in ARCA and pick rail for use on tripod or bipod, and a night vision rail to ensure you're ready for any scenario. The Gunworks Index delivers magnum capability in the most compact chassis rifle system on the market. Visit gunworks.com to learn more.
that's part of our industry, though, is I would like to say most of my clients end up being friends, and I stay in touch with them.
Yeah.
Talked to one yesterday that I've sold 2 of their properties, and they had heard that I'd had surgery, and they just wanted to call and check on me and see how I was doing, and it's an industry that is. It's not the construction industry I was in, I can tell you that, where there was a lot of yelling and screaming going on a lot of times when I was in that industry. But it's good people, and sometimes there's some hand-holding that's got to go on, but that's going to be anywhere. But I just think by and far, in the outdoor industry, in selling land, it's the people are just a little different. They're a lot more easy to deal with, a lot more fun. I feel like, and I don't know about you, but I feel like all of the careers that I've had to this point have prepared me for this, right?
Sure.
So now, if there's a crisis, I've had much bigger crises when I was in commercial construction. So to me, if there's a crisis, it's like, well, we're gonna work through it. We're gonna figure it out. Whereas if I didn't have those experiences, it might be a bigger deal. But I feel like all those experiences have put me in the place I am right now to be able to do the best job that I can for my clients.
Yep, I can echo that 100%.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And being connected with Houston Safari Club is no different. I mean, I don't know how many years ago it was that I decided I wanted to be involved, but I didn't know how. Called Joe Bitar. He and I had lunch. The next thing I know, he says, "Hey, do you want to be the chairman for the clay shoot?" And I'm like, "Oh God!" I thought I was going to be stuffing envelopes or something, and end up doing that, and just moved on from there. But and I think I was a little intimidated by, some people there at the beginning, that just different board members and stuff like that, just because I didn't know them. And now that I know them all, I mean, It's a great group of people, and that's one of the things that I like to tell people about Houston Safari Club and the leadership is that they are good people, they are approachable, and they are very invested in what we do. And the passion is there. So I want them. We get out a lot. I mean, we go to the events and things like that, but it's a little different now, I think, than when I very first joined. When I very first joined, it was a little. I don't want to say. Well, it's just different now for me. Maybe it's just because I've met so many people, but I mean, I really enjoy it, and I look forward to staying involved with it. And the connections between now, I was selling ranch property before I was involved with Houston Safari Club, and so but that kind of goes hand in hand. But I can help with both. Being involved by people that I sell ranch property to, I tell them about Safari Club, and within Safari Club, I've met people that have been good clients and things like that. So it all works out well. So again, ready for this convention coming up? What's today? November.
Today's
12th?
November the 12th.
12th,
Yeah.
I think. So January 22nd. Well, really 23rd is when the hall opens up, but the 22nd we'll have a dinner. I think it's the awards dinner is on the 22nd that night, and then the next morning, Friday morning, we've got exhibit halls open up Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It's going to be fun. One of the new things we're doing this year, and I think this was a great idea from Jameson, our the chair. He's over a raffle. Is it? And he tried this last year, and it worked. He does what we're calling a speed raffle, where he'll take a rifle and literally walk around the room like at one of the dinners, and he's only selling 100 tickets. That's it. And he sold like 100 tickets in 45 minutes.
Oh, wow.
And pulled the winner right then. So it's not you're putting a raffle ticket in a box and you're waiting until Sunday to have that thing pulled. It's happening right then. And so we're going to be doing that at every dinner, and we're going to do it actually during the convention. We're going to walk around with a gun and or whatever. It's probably going to be a rifle, probably everyone. And we're going to tell people, hey, it's a speed raffle right now. If you want in on this, it's, we've got 100 tickets. That's it. Once they're sold, That's it. And then we're going to pull it. And people, they did it last year, and we're going to do it this year a lot more.
Well, I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah.
I'm sure they're going to pass by Capital Farm Credit booth trying to get me a raffle ticket there.
Yeah, you guys got a nice little spread over there. It's the same. I think it's the same one.
That's be good.
Yeah, and y'all y'all were smart. You rented or got somebody to come in and put furniture in and all that stuff.
So if you're at the convention and you're walking around, we do have nice padded floors usually, comfortable couches to kick back in.
That's right.
So good people to have conversations with.
That's right. That's right.
The Houston Safari Club Foundation is a 501c3 nonprofit organization that supports the future of hunting and conservation. Wildlife and habitat conservation, youth education and outdoor experiences, scholarships, and anti-poaching efforts are just a few of the programs supported by this organization. Monthly events, an annual convention, award-winning publications, networking opportunities, and valuable resources for hunting knowledge are just a few of the benefits of being a member of Houston Safari Club Foundation. If you're searching for a group of people dedicated to protecting the future of hunting, look no further. Join Houston Safari Club Foundation today at wehuntwegive.org or call 713-623-8844.
Yeah, it's going to be good. It's going to be really good. Well, what else we got? I don't know that I've gotten through every question from your secret file that Joe came up with here, but man, I feel like we've covered a lot. Enjoyed talking to you.
No, I've enjoyed it. I sure appreciate y'all inviting me on. I don't know how I got chosen to be the to be the one here today, but I'm glad I was and happy to be here.
Well, I'm sorry you had the B team.
I don't know about that.
B team here.
I was hoping we'd just go completely rogue on Joe, but you know.
Oh, believe me, he's going to be listening and watching, going,
He's probably got a camera. He's probably listening right now.
I was going to do a Joe imitation, but I don't think that's appropriate. He has done. I will say this. I need to plug this real quick. I need to plug Joe real quick because he has done this show. I'm trying to remember how many episodes, but the man's a machine.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
an absolute machine. I don't think people understand how much that man undertakes, what he does. You go into his office and it's like, there's a piece of paper here, because he's got like that many things going on. And to be able to just keep it all together in his brain is it's impressive.
Well, I haven't done too many of these podcast type things, and it's definitely an art.
It is. It's you know, you got to think on your feet a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, try not to stumble your words, but yeah, thank you, Joe. I appreciate you letting me do this today. Hope everybody enjoyed it. I know I did, and I'm sure Joe will be back next week, and we'll try and do better next time.
If y'all head out to the convention in January, be sure and stop by Capital Farm Credit's booth and say hi.
Where can people reach you in Capital?
Easiest reached, you can reach us through the web at capitalfarmcredit.com. We're pretty active in all the social media, I guess, handles, you'll say. Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube. Capital Farm Credit even has their own podcast called Capital Roots.
Really?
So, yeah, you know, always just a different conversation, you know. If you're interested, take a look and listen.
Nice. Will do. All right, sir. Appreciate it.
All right. Thank you.
Hunting Matters is a Houston Safari Club Foundation production. Please rate, review, and subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts. For questions or more information, email us at info@wehuntwegive.org.